What is going on, my fellow Shinobi Strikers? And today we're going to answer a question that I commonly get during my live streams on which VR mentor is the best, which one should I invest my money into if I can't get the season DLC, or if I can only pick one season pass, number one or number two, all those good questions. So here we go. Before we get started, guys, if you guys would mind take a minute out of your day and liking and subscribing to this. Also, check out in the description below, we are linking our new merch store that is now open. Everything on the merch store is currently at cost, as well as a link to the Discord server. Without further ado, here we go. So I broke this into several different categories. D, C, B, A, and S. These are something that you can see default. The website I'm making this on is tiermaker.com. So you guys can go ahead and follow along, maybe make your own list, put it in the comment section below. I can see what you guys and why you guys rank them. Maybe there's a VR mentor that I have too high. Maybe there's one I have too low. So I would love to see your guys' comments on that. And give me your list in the comment section below. So without further ado, and I'll explain why I put them where I did in the video. So without further ado, here we go. Coming in at the lowest rank possible is Choji. Now, why did I put Choji there? Well, out of all his jutsus that he has, only one of them gets a whole lot of play, which would be the human boulder. His partial expansion jutsu and his expansion jutsu, his ultimate, both of them are fairly underused as the community. Not a whole lot of people use them. I've had them in builds. I never seem to really do a whole heck of a lot of damage with them. I use them in base battle, barrier battle, and just not a whole lot of success with them other than human boulder. So that's why Choji is at a D rank. Now the C ranks are all what I put in there, people that I consider really good if you're just starting out in the game. Starting on the game, don't know who to pick. Let's go ahead and pick them, and we'll go through them, and we'll discuss why. So Naruto coming in at the first spot, well, pretty self-explanatory. It's his game, and he has a Rasen Shuriken, which is a ranged type ability for the melee. He has a regular Rasengan, which acts like a lot of other abilities in the game, like the Lightning Blade and the Chidori and the way the mechanics work of it. But it's still a good one. And the Giant Rasengan. It's a fairly decent starter ultimate. You'll want to replace majority of these skills, but it's better than having nothing. Number 2 is Pain. The Almighty Push and the Almighty Pull are very, very handy, especially with the implementation of some of these other DLC characters, like me with the Water Prism. You can use Universal Pull, Universal Push, Break Sand Shield, Planetary Devastation you can hit more than one person with. So all in all, Pain's a pretty decent character. Itachi, he's Itachi, so you get your Amaterasu and Flame Control. You get his Susanoo. He unlocks really early in the game with unlocking him through Sasuke, so fantastic character, great for starting out. Sadara, a decent support type, gives you a decent ultimate, especially if you're gonna not buy the DLCs and you're looking for an ultimate that can do a little bit of damage and do some healing. Sadara is the way to go. Pretty cut and dry. Sasuke. Sasuke gives you Chidori, he gives you a Fireball Jutsu, and he gives you a Kirin. So all in all, a very decent build. Nothing in there's phenomenal. Chidori can miss quite a bit. Nothing's game changing, but everything's really nice and easy to use. Orochimaru, he has the snake arm where you can use to pull. The only thing I don't like about that is I don't like to play ranged in a up close and personal combat. I like to play ranged as a range type. So that for me doesn't work out very well. His Great Wind Breach, the wind ability, that one I consider it like a sniping ability. it can be very difficult to hit people with. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who have great success hitting people with that, but I'm not one of them. And then his ultimate is reanimation, where he reanimates the first and second Hokage. And they don't run necessarily straight, but it's easier if you're casting it and something's straight ahead of you. It tracks pretty decent. It has one-shot capability. So, it's a decent ability. Next one, Kakashi. Kakashi could be higher just because of the Sharingan that he gives you, which acts like another substitution. The lightning blade is really good in multiple modes, but the Kamui's been hit and miss, literally. It used to be super OP where you never missed, then they nerfed it to where you never hit it, and now it's somewhere in the middle. So that his ultimate is why he's placed where he is. Subsequently, Shikamaru and Hinata kind of in the same boat. Shikamaru has a very decent attack type ultimate for the supports, not a heal type. He does his he does it where the one where he brings up his shadows and puts explosive tags on them, blows them all up, and it does decent damage. Has the potential to one shot, but not really. His other two shadow possession jutsus that he has, they're actually not too bad. They're a little hard to hit with, and so it does feel like you're Shikamaru, where you're constantly like chasing him around with the shadows and trying to hit. But when you do, you can get some really nice combo attacks with your friends or teammates, and maybe even your other jutsus that you have, and you can really do a lot of damage with them. Hinata, you get a Byakugan, which does pretty well, gives you a boost to your teammates' attack, also lets you see people through walls. That can help. You get Air Palm, which I believe is a staple of almost any true support. What I mean by true support is somebody who's supporting, not as a healer. Somebody who's supporting and not just mainly healing. And then you get her Twin Lion Fist or whatever it's called. That one does decent damage, doesn't really have the potential to one-shot. You do get a lot, but it takes away your enemy's ultimate, which means depending on who that enemy is and how often you use it on that enemy, they never get an ultimate. So like doing it against another heal type would be fantastic. Anybody, it works great on. Next we have Boruto. Vanishing Rasengan's awesome. Tornado High, I'm almost positive, breaks people out of some jutsus that I, at one point in time, didn't think you can break them out of. And then his Rasengan is pretty decent. His ultimate Rasengan. So, pretty decent, pretty easy to use. So that's why he's a C rank. Same thing with Hiruzen. Hiruzen, you get a Fireball, which not a lot of defense types run, but plenty of them do. Then you get the Mud Dragon, which you see more in some base battles, maybe flag battle. And then his ultimate Reaper Death Seal, probably more popular of his abilities. And that one is a one-shot ability. If you catch the person, you actually don't die. And it does take quite a bit of time for you to get it, and it takes quite a bit of time for you to cast it. So there is a plus and a negative. You might go several rounds if your team's really solid and moving quick, where you may not even get it. So that's why he's kind of low on the list. Yamato. Yamato's a decent starting out defense type. You get Dome Wall, which is pretty good. If you team up with another defense type who's using Dome Wall, depending on the map or the game type, can be pretty nasty. You get Silent Strangle Jutsu, I think it's called, where he wraps you with the wood. Pretty decent. And his ultimate's kind of lackluster a little bit. Not my favorite, so that's why he's low on the list. Inoki, worst support type in the game. I think they messed up with this one. He should probably been a range type. But you get his Light Boulder Jutsu, which on game modes like Flag Battle is fantastic for you to cast it on your teammate. You get the heavy boulder jutsu, which also on game modes like flag type is pretty good because it slows down your opponents if they have the flag. Particle style takes a bit of time for you to be able to charge it all the way up. You do quite a bit of hand signs to cast it, and there's a good possibility that you can miss with it. So that's why he's lower ranked. While we are making our way halfway through the list, this is just a friendly reminder. If you made it this far, please go ahead and drop a like and subscribe. And here we go. Hitting the B ranks. The B ranks and above are everything that I could see somebody using in their main build. If you're going to build something for any mode, chances are you might see yourself having one of these abilities. So, Ngara, Sand Shield, Sand Shower, very two useful abilities. Sand Shower lowers the speed. Sand Shield obviously blocks incoming attacks. You're able to stand on top of the base or the flag, but there are quite a bit of abilities in the game that can break that, so just for you to know. And Grand Sand Mausoleum is a decent enough ultimate. You can capture multiple people in it, and you can do a decent amount of damage, and possibly, depending on who it is, maybe even one-shot them. It's not a guaranteed one-shot, but it's pretty dang good. Datara, you get your clay birds. Those are fantastic. They're fairly difficult to dodge, and his ultimate is surprisingly effective, and surprisingly effective against multiple targets. I've seen someone use it and one-shot 4 people. So, surprisingly effective. Kisame, one of the more utility type of defense types. He has 2 different shark bombs. The first one can go through walls and it moves fairly quick. You do have a percentage where you could miss. They nerfed it. It used to never miss. And it has a bit of a knockback. It also resets your opponent's jutsu. You have his Subterranean, which if you've never went up against it before, the tank type goes underneath the ground, can run around so you can have the flag with it, and it also heals you. It's pretty OP. And Super Shark Bomb is a very good slow moving, right in front of your face type of ultimate jutsu that does great damage. Pretty good. Jiraiya, you have Needle Jizo, which gets broken by very few jutsus in the game. You have Toad Oil Bomb, which is a range type ability which resets jutsus. And you have Bring Down the House jutsu, which he, with the exception of how really good Needle Jizo is, he could be lower. But if you slap a couple, if you've never used Needle Jizo before, go into defense, make a defense type, go into base battle with explosive tags, put the explosive tags underneath you, turn on Needle Jizo, and watch what happens. You will dominate. Just dominate. You'll get a ton of kills, and you'll hold that base down like no other. So it's a fantastic ability. Mitsuki could probably be higher on the list. You have Snake Thrust that goes through walls and knocks people back. And you know what? We're gonna move him higher on the list. Snake Thrust that goes through walls and knocks people back, knocks people out of Sand Shield, knocks people out of the Water Prism. You have Ripple, which pulls people to you. You can put down explosive tags and pull people into it and do a ton of damage that way. And you have Sage Mode, which above all else heals you. So now you look at Snake Thrust that heals you, Ripple that heals you, put on an accessory that gives you healing type with his Sage Mode that heals, and you're almost invincible. Not quite, but almost. So Mitsuki, yeah, we moved him up. He might even be higher. Coming in next, let's see here. We would have Obito. Obito's ultimate is fantastic. The other 2 abilities are decent, but they come in, the Kamui really comes in handy on like barrier battle, which is one of my least favorite modes. Base battle. Uchiha Flame Control is pretty decent on on all the game types, so I believe he's a solid B. Sakura is a solid B because of one jutsu, which is the cellular activation. It does a decent heal. It takes away all status effects. She has two other abilities that aren't bad. Cherry Blossom Clash, I believe, and Mitonic Regeneration. That one is probably a sleeper ability that a lot of people don't use. You resurrect your team depending on the game mode and the game type and how that particular game comes in. That ultimate can be super clutch or super wasted. So that's why she's a B. She might be a C, but I think she deserves a B. Coming in next is Sai. Sai has his twin lions, which do great, his birds, which do amazing, can knock people back, and his ult. His ult is fairly underused, but because his other two abilities are so good, they track very well, gives him a B spot. Haku gives you a great substitution. Haku gives you a decent kind of trap ability that other people use with complementing abilities. And then he has an ability that freezes you. His ult is the mirror. It is fairly underpowered, but when you add that with something like the Kurama accessory where how high your combo goes, you get to heal. That's like a 26 hit combo. You can heal yourself pretty well. So Haku, a B, I think is pretty just. Ino, a B, might be higher. Her version of palms is great. The only thing is you have to stand still to do it, but you can heal anybody anywhere on the map, and you can go hide anywhere you would like. And then her mind possession, and especially her ult, depending on what you have going on with your teams, can change a battle almost in an instant. So I believe because she has 2 of 3 abilities that are very good, equally gets a B spot. Conan gets here and arguably could be a C, arguably could be a D, and arguably could be an A. You have her paper clone is very, very good, which is I think why I put her here, because I use that paper clone all the time. Her ultimate can be a little bit annoying, and that's kind of the reason why it's there. It is to be annoying. She has Angelic Advent, which you'll most probably find in a flag build that people will use. So that's why this gets pretty high, because you have an ability that does very well. Not something that does okay like Human Boulder, but something that does very, very well. And the Shinigami Dance is okay. So 2 abilities out of the 3, but I'm actually going to say 3 out of 4 because she does give you a clone. So 3 out of 4, that's pretty good. 75%, I'll take it. Now moving to the A ranks. Now we're going to go ahead and throw Mitsuki off because we've already talked about Mitsuki. Kabuto, you get your Chakra Scalpel, and you get the Feather Illusion Jutsu. Those 2 jutsus alone make him an A rank, in my opinion. The versatility in both of those, what you can do, flag builds, barrier battles, if you're going to be a pitfaller, which a lot of people are, there's a lot of different utility. His other heal abilities is okay, but not great. Tobirama, in my opinion, might be a little bit higher if his other water ability was better. The Searing Wave, I think, but the Water Dragon homes very well. It doesn't do a ton of damage, but it goes through walls. It knocks the people off the base. It knocks the flag off the flag carrier. All in all, a good one to use. And the Tana Paper Bomb is my favorite jutsu to use. Ultimate for range. So, does a ton of damage. You can one-shot people. There's nothing better than putting it on the flag, watch somebody jump there, and all these papers fly up, and you one-shot them. Minato, ultimate's pretty okay. The Flying Raijin's really where it's at. Flag builds, Flying Raijin level 1. If you've played the game, need I say more? Hashirama, you get the Wood Dragon, which gives a attack type ranged ability. The Buddha hands, which aren't bad, are the Buddha palm, and then the little Buddha hands that come down. The only caveat on that one is it takes, you may never see that one. If you're playing with a really solid group, you might not see that ability all night. So Zabuza, he might be an S rank. You have Hidden Mist Jutsu as an alt. His Water Prism, which I was kind of confused how they're going to do it because Water Prism was already in the game. This one seems a little bit better. And his third ability, which I forget what it's called, but you pretty much go into Unsunnable God mode. As a defense type, people hit that button and they just smash Y. I mean, does it get any easier than that? I don't think so. Lee might be a little high, but I believe a lot of attack types use one or two of his abilities. His ultimate's not super great, but it's not bad when you compare it to other ones. Now the new DLC stuff maybe have outdated Lee, but Rising Wind, stuff like that are very, very good. Break guard, knock the flag out. You can move, you can make a quick flag build if you don't have any of the DLC characters. At least pretty good. Killer Bee, Octo Hug, need I say more? Like, is there anything else that Killer Bee does? Probably, but you see almost everybody with Octo Hug. There's good reason for it. His little sword dance is pretty okay. It's kind of like Neji's rotation. And 8-tail chakra mode, above all else, is pretty cool to use, but it's also pretty decent. Coming in again in the A rank, we're going to have Boruto Sasuke Uchiha. Does he deserve to be a little higher? Maybe, but I think A is right where he belongs. Heavenly Hand Power or the Rinnegan you can switch places with. When you do that in combination of something like the Tana Paper Bomb, where you put a stun tag down and hit him with Orochimaru's Wind Breach, now all of a sudden that becomes an offensive utility. You can use it for base and flag defense as well as flag retrieval. It's a good ability right there. He has his pull that everybody uses to pitfall. Everybody, I mean, you may not, but if you get pitfalled by someone pulling you and you get hit with the Black Flames, that's Sasuke's ability right there. And his Onyx Chidori is pretty good. His ultimate. So, I mean, 3 for 3 on just those abilities alone, pretty good. Me might be higher. I think A is right where she belongs. Water Pillar is a pretty OP jutsu. Her lava can be an OP jutsu. It's kind of like Heavy Boulder in a way. And then her ult is fantastic. So many people confuse that when I play against them or with them for Zabuza's Hidden Mist Jutsu. Now imagine comboing that with your defense type. Having him hit it and then you hit it. People don't even know what hit them. Plus you get it like maybe one of the most OP, in my opinion, defense weapons in the game with me. So unfortunately it's all support skills, but still pretty good. And then we have Might Guy, which you have his Scream, which kind of gives a status ailment to the people you go against. Youthful Roar, I think it's called. And then Dynamic Entry, which does a bunch of different things. You hit them, break guard, you can catch up to people quicker, and also gives you a defensive boost. So what's wrong with that? And then 8, honestly, the only reason why he's not higher is because of his ultimate, which is unlocking the 8 inner gates. The Sekizo part of it's pretty cool. You get a speed boost. Everything about it's great, but you do kill yourself when you hit the up button again and do the actual Night Guy, and you jump kick with the dragon, because you do kill yourself. And I have seen people use that to try to wipe the team and end up killing themselves for the final kill in combat. So it seems kind of goofy. So we'll go ahead and take this time to take a little bit of break and say, hey, if you made it this far, thanks, and I appreciate it. Go and smash that like button and subscribe button if you haven't done it. We're down to the final 3 characters. Now, Tsunade as an S rank. Is that too high? No, I don't think so. You get her, and now I'm forgetting the name of it, but it's like her equivalent to Chakra Scalpel, but it makes them where the controllers are all backwards. Yes, there's easy ways to counter that when that happens, but it's annoying enough to get people where they'll accidentally run to the pit and kill themselves. Good enough. Her ultimate, you can get it multiple times in a round, heal everybody on the map. Add that with something like Ino's heal ability or Sakura's heal ability or even regular Palm Sage. I mean, it's a fantastic heal, top tier heal ability in my opinion. And her foot when you combo that up with one of Shikamaru's moves, it's a dang near one shot. So I think she deserves her spot as an S rank. Madara Uchiha, Majestic Destroyer Flame. Do I need to say anything else? He could be higher if they had a cheese rank or an S plus or a 3S plus, whatever. Everybody uses the Majestic Destroyer Flame for a reason. Tons of damage, burn effect, breaks guard, breaks most defense type abilities. It's OP. Hiding the Ash Jutsu can be, which is it's his equivalent to Subterranean. It's a mobile ability. You heal in it. It's great for a flag build. Need I say more? The only negative about him is his ultimate's really, really good. It just takes a long time to save up for it during the game, and you may not be able to get it if your team's wiping the other teams really quick. You may not be able to earn that ultimate. And last but not least, also could be in his own category, Hokage Naruto. Not to mention, you get a new accessory with Kurama. You get 2 different types of Rasengans. One of them is like Mitsuki's Snake Thrust, and it does decent combo damage with the Kurama accessory would heal you, and you knock them way back. The other one knocks them straight up and cancels their ability to sub. So those are both OP and fantastic abilities to have as a attack type. Both of them have great starting and ending combo potential. And then Kurama Link mode, you gain speed, you give your team a buff. So not only do you gain attack speed, run speed, you heal yourself, you give your team a buff, you also have the ability to one-shot people. You also have the ability to one-shot half the or all of your enemies. So every ability of his is off the chart great. Now, I am sure some of you guys out there are going to disagree with this list because there's parts of this, when I'm talking about it, even I was second guessing, should that person be higher? Should that person be lower? We saw that with Mitsuki. So go to tiermaker.com, type in Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker, look for the remade template, and go ahead and do your own. Post it in the comment section below. I'll have a look at it. Maybe you'll inspire me to take a second look at somebody and reevaluate their skills. Maybe I think I have them too high a praise, their abilities. Maybe they're too low a praise. Who knows? What I do know is I appreciate all you guys who've been subscribing and helping the channel grow. We're going to do these tier lists on all the abilities. We also have the game improvements series that we're still working on. We're live streaming Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We have all kinds of good content coming up. We have unboxing of figurines. We have giveaways. We have a new merch store that you guys can go buy stuff right now at cost. So other than that, guys, thank you all so much for hanging in there with me on this incredibly long video, one of the longest ones that we've made. I have been Chalk. Please like, please subscribe, please share, and we'll catch you guys next time.